This is Texans TV.
Coming up, Bill O'Brien meets with the media, and we're going one-on-one with Brennan Scarlett. Don't go anywhere. Texans 360 is now.
We are ready to rock in Houston. Rock and roll. Touchdown, Texans.
Hello there, friends, and welcome into another Texans 360. My name is Drew Dougherty. I'm your host, and we've got quite a show for you because we're taking a little bit deeper look at some of these new wide receivers for the Houston Texans. We're going one-on-one with outside linebacker Brennan Scarlett, but we start things off with the news of the week. The Texans getting ready for the NFL draft, which will be next Thursday in a virtual setting. That's round one. Texans don't pick until round two, 40th overall on Friday night. And we've also heard this week that the off-season workout program will begin in a virtual manner as well, and that starts for the Texans on April 27th and will go through May 15th. But Bill O'Brien, head coach and general manager of the team, met with the media for the first time since the NFL Combine back in late February. He had quite a bit to talk about, quite a bit to say, and he answered questions from the press and hit on some of these high points.
The key to having the best team is not just having the best player. We have a lot of really good players. Obviously, we've got players that are Pro Bowl players. We've got players that are tremendous role players. But really the key to having the best team is to have a room full of productive players, layers and layers of productive players relative to what their roles are. We were able to sign back some really key free agents that we had on our own team, like Darren Fells and Kaimi Fairbairn and Dylan Cole. And, I would say free agent-wise, we were able to add Eric Murray and Jalen Watkins and Randall Cobb. And then most recently, we made a trade for Brandon Cooks. I think that Brandon brings a lot to the table. He's a tremendous route runner. He's got great speed, really good deep ball player. If you look at his yards per catch over the years, it's really high. You're talking about in the 14 to 15 range. What we have at that receiver position right now is a very diverse group of receivers. I think that you're going to have guys in your system that, have an understanding of how to work, what it takes, have been in similar systems. Cooks, has been in a similar system. Obviously, even Cobb has been in a similar system. Obviously, Deshaun Watson going into his, fourth year has been in our system. He knows what to expect. He's been in contact with these guys that are new to our team. But I feel good about those guys. We're in a good position relative to where we're at during this time of the year. I'm really excited about the secondary. I think that we have a very diverse secondary. So one of the things about Bradley Roby is the versatility that he brings, the ability to play outside, play inside, to play a lot of different positions, play man-to-man, play zone. Obviously, last year traded for Garyon Conley. Really excited about him next year. Lonnie Johnson, he's another guy doing a great job of working out and staying in touch with Mike Eubanks. Expecting big things out of him. We will begin our off-season program on April 27th, and we're going to have Zoom meetings and Discord meetings. Discord, we can show film. Zoom, we wouldn't be able to show film, but Discord, we can show film. It's going to be different, but we're looking forward to seeing everybody in a little bit here.
One of the players that O'Brien mentioned in that press conference was wide receiver Will Fuller. He's having a good offseason, according to O'Brien, healthy, working out, and staying in shape during this pandemic for COVID-19. Back to the season that was, though, his finest game came against the Atlanta Falcons. Most are going to remember 3 touchdown catches, 200 yards receiving, and the one that iced the game there late. But we took a look at his second touchdown with John Harris and myself in the film room. John, football is a hard sport, but every once in a while, somebody can make it look easy. And the Texans offense made it look easy on this play. Founders Day against the Falcons. They were 2-2. The week before, they had lost the Panthers. Deshaun Watson struggled mightily, didn't throw a touchdown. He got sacked 6 times. 6 times. So what's going on? He flips the script against the Falcons. He had already tossed a score to Will Fuller earlier in the game. It tied it up at 7. And then in the second, 1st and 10 at the Atlanta 33. And check this out. A beautiful pocket and a play we've seen before, John.
Yeah, this is one of the Texans, I think one of their top plays. And it's a great play against this particular coverage. And it looks like the Falcons are playing some version of cover 3, basically middle of the field, close coverage, post safety coverage. And what I love about this is 3 guys really have to make a decision on this for the Falcons: corner, safety, and corner. We've seen this play. They'll play action fake. They'll fake it to Carlos. I mean, protection-wise, like nobody's in the vicinity. And you can see what happens downfield. And Will's got his eyes. What a lot of people may not know is Will's got his eyes all here. He knows exactly what's going on here because that's going to impact his route. So if that corner started to play deep expecting Will to go, Will would just cut that thing off. We saw that at Seattle in 2017.
Yeah.
If that corner stays shallow, then Will is going to take it there. And that's exactly what he did. The safety, you can see the safety, he's already turned. He's in a lot of trouble because he's trying to help on Will, thinking that he might do this, so he's going to try and do that. But when that safety turns like that, you can forget it. Will sees this corner low. He knows that safety had the baseball turn. He's running right to that spot, and Deshaun's just going to throw. Look at that.
Beautiful.
That's pretty. Bang, touchdown.
Second of 3 touchdown catches for Fuller on the day, and it's a magical afternoon for him. Deshaun Watson, technically he was perfect, 158.3 passer rating. He had 5 strikes.
3 of them Will Fuller, and that one right there. As long as Will Fuller is healthy, we'll see a lot of that in the future.
After the break, love is in the air, Texans style. Don't go anywhere. Texans 360 rolls on.
With the 23rd pick in the 2019 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Titus Howard.
Titus Howard was a bit of a surprise to a lot of folks, fan-wise, media-wise, last April, but he sure showed out and showed up on the field for the Texans out at right tackle. In the games in which he was the starting right tackle, Laramie Tunsil was the left tackle, and then you had Fulton at right guard, Martin at center, and Max Sharping at left guard. Texans went 5-1 in those contests. Moving on to romance, because, hey, that's what happens when you talk a little bit about Titus Howard. There was romance and love in the air back when the Trujillo couple got together for their first date. It was in the bullpen at a Houston Texans game, and now they got a family to talk about.
My name's Rene Trujillo. I've been a Houston Texans fan since 2001. I started coming to games with friends, with family. One Sunday, I invited a girl to the game. Fast forward a few years later, she becomes my wife and the mother of my children. Now coming to Texans games is a family tradition. I moved to Houston about 2 years before the Oilers left, and I decided I'm not going to go to an NFL football game until Houston gets a team again. And when I found out that Houston was getting a team in 2000, I was like, I'm going to have to get some tickets. This is my chance to start a legacy with the football team from the beginning. I became a season ticket holder. I bought 2 tickets. I didn't have anybody coming with me. I just knew that I was going to be a fan and this was going to be something for me. I met someone at work and I told them that I had season tickets and that I had an extra ticket to the game. I asked her, I say, hey, you know, if you're ever interested, you're more than welcome to come on. It's a really cool deal. You'll really enjoy it. Let me know if you ever want to stop by. Give me a call and we'll make it happen.
I kind of ultimately knew that I had a crush on him. I wasn't supposed to be at work that day. He wasn't supposed to be at work that day. And we just kind of hit it off.
About 11 o'clock the night before the game, I got a phone call and this person said, hey, I'm interested in coming to the game. And I had to tell my friend who was sitting right next to me, you're not coming to the game with me, I'm bringing somebody else.
I wasn't into football. My mom was into football growing up, but I decided that I wasn't going to be.
We had explained to her, you know, we tailgate, we're here very early, can you be here early? And she said, I'm going to be there. And I said, okay, well, let's make this thing happen.
I just had the best time, and I got the fever. From then on out, I went and got all my Texans gear, and I put stickers on my car. And I just really enjoyed the camaraderie of the team and just being there with him, and his family was there with us that first game, so I got to meet all of them. And I just really thought that it was such a great community and environment that I wanted to be part of.
I remember her coming down the stands for the very first time to go in our seats and her being just amazed. And I remember thinking how cool it was for her to have that amazement, almost like exactly the way as the first time I saw my own seats. After the game, we kind of just started staying in contact. For me, it was one of those deals where I enjoyed hanging out with her, I enjoyed being with her at the games, and it just kind of became one of those things that just felt right to do. A lot of my friends, we already knew, oh, well, Jessica's probably going to be going with Renee next year to the games, so now I have to find my own tickets. Where we've evolved is we've not only had 2 seats, now we went to 4 seats, and now we're up to 5 seats. So this is Micah. Micah is 6. His first Texans game was for his first birthday. This is Eris. Her first Texans game, she was about 10 months old. When that box comes in with our season tickets in it, that's like a big deal for us. We got to make sure we're both home. We open them together. It's funny now, these small things before that didn't mean anything, now that we're together, they mean everything. When I went downtown and they were announcing the Texans, and I was like, I want to be part of it. I've never been part of anything like this. Fast forward to today, and I have 5 seats that are unbelievable. And no longer is it just a single game ticket left undone. It's a family.
We just really focus it around our family and the love that we have for each other and for the sport. I don't know what our life would be without it. It's just so much a part of our entire life and our family.
Coming up, there's a lot of speed in the Texans wide receiver core. We're investigating one of them after the break. This is Texans 360.
Brandon Cooks, he's had a marvelous game. Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks, touchdown! Caught for the touchdown, Brandon Cooks. Cooks gets loose. Whole thing, Cooks. Touchdown! Touchdown to Brandon Cooks. Cooks has a first down.
Brandon Cooks dealt for last week, and he brings a lot of speed to an already fast Texans receiving core, and we appreciate you watching us here on Texans 360. Drew Dougherty, your host. It's time to talk about another receiver, a guy who's going to man the slot position in Randall Cobb. We look back at a scoring strike for him last year, and this is John Harris in the Telestrator.
Welcome to Texans Telestrator Offseason Edition, presented by BMW. I'm your host, John Harris, and we're going to take a look at Randall Cobb, the newest Texans acquisition at wide receiver, and see him work in the slot. Now, when you think about slot receivers, everybody thinks about slot receivers, short, quick, little, interior routes. That's what they do. Well, Randall shows here that he can do a little bit of that and show the juice to win in one-on-one coverage down the field. That's one thing you'd like your slot receiver to be able to do. And Randall Cobb is right here, and he's going to show that on this particular play. Now, the Vikings are going to roll dice. This is right before the half. It's the first play. It's the play at the 2-minute warning. And so the Cowboys down, I think, by 7. They're going to try and put one up on the board here. And the Vikings, they kind of look not totally sure what they're going to do at this point. It's going to turn into cover 0. which means man across the board. So man here, man here. Harris is going to come down and take Jarwin, man here. And then right here is one to watch. That's Mackenzie Alexander, slot corner for the Vikings, and Randall Cobb right here. And when the Cowboys get cover 0, they want to work Cobb down the field. And so Randall's got to beat this coverage, make sure that Alexander, who's known for clutching and grabbing and holding, kind of a physical guy, to make sure that that doesn't disrupt his route to get up the field, make a catch, make a big play. And this is going to be a huge play. So we'll watch Cobb in the slot here, and it's just pure man. You beat him. And that's what Dak's doing. Dak sees it, and he's changing the play. He knows what he wants. He wants Cobb up the field. So we're going to run seam, slot fade, whatever you call it. Either way, he's going up the seam, one-on-one. Dak changed to it. Let's see if we can't exploit Randall Cobb in the slot. And so Randall's going to run, and he knows he's got room. And this is what I like to see from Randall. He just, as soon as that right, he didn't dance. He didn't, hot foot, nothing. He just went. He knew, I got to beat this guy. I'm going to beat him down the field. So let's start this play from the beginning. And you can see, watch him explode off the ball. He's not even on the line of scrimmage, so he's got about a step to make up. And then off the ball and go. Go, Randall, go. Now, see that? It's subtle, and I hope I can pause it at the right moment. But about right here, Randall throws his right hand up. Right there. See that? I don't know, I couldn't get it exactly right. My bad. But Randall throws his hand up as he's running. Watch him about right here. He throws his hand up real fast to let Dak know I'm open. By being the vet that he is, he doesn't leave it up there because that's going to slow him down. He throws it up there, Dak, I'm open, and he keeps running. And then Dak's going to throw it to a spot, and Randall's going to go get it. Watch him about right here. Throw it. Gets it out there, and now this is one heck of a catch because Alexander does stay in the pocket. Look, open. This might be open in the NFL. In college, it's a little different. But he was open just by enough and made one heck of a catch in the end zone for a touchdown. This is a great catch. Watch it from the end zone view, and you can see Dak. You can't see Randall. Randall will come into view in just a second. But Dak noticed it was cover 0. Again, changing the play. Let everybody know, hey, I'm changing the play. I like this. This is 0. So he's changing the play. And now he's going to look at Cobb and just floats out there and look at Randall. Boom. Make a great catch. I mean, how great a catch is that? This ball is nearly on the ground, and Randall's making that catch. Deep ball, which you don't expect to get from a slot receiver, and makes one heck of a catch. Beat him in man coverage, stack him, and get to a point where you can be the one making a play on the ball, not the defensive back. That's the wily veteran, Randall Cobb, right there, showing how you beat man-to-man coverage from the slot and be a factor down the field.
After the break, we got to go one-on-one with outside linebacker Brennan Scarlett. Stick with us. Texans 360 rolls on. We thank you so much for watching Texans 360. Moving on, we've all learned quite a bit about ourselves, about new technologies, and especially about Zoom. We've done a lot of Zoom interviews with players and coaches throughout this whole process, and Marc Vandermeer, the voice of the Houston Texans, had a lot to discuss with outside linebacker Brennan Scarlett.
Well, I know you're looking forward to a big year, 3.5 sacks last year, and I know it's not all about the stats and everything. Well, but while we're on that subject, you had a pick prior to last year. For you guys who play OLB, anybody like in the front 7, is getting an interception sort of like offensive lineman scoring a touchdown? It's not that rare, okay? But it is a more rare thing than, say, safeties and corners getting picks. How do you regard that part of the game?
I mean, it's up there, Mark. It is up there. An interception, because one, I mean, it shows you're in the right place at the right time. Mm-hmm. But then secondly, you get to display the athletic ability, that you always don't get to display. So catching the ball, taking off for a little bit, maybe a little juke move here and there. So it's definitely up there for me.
Absolutely. All right, so what about your personal game? What are you looking to improve upon as we move into 2020? And I know we talked about the difficulty in working on that right now, but what are you looking forward to individually?
I think every year is just improving my knowledge of the game. You know, as I line up for every snap, having an idea of the tendency of my opponents. I think, you know, from whoever that particular opponent is in that given moment, but then also just generally from a football perspective, you know, just understanding the game better, you know, situationally is something that I've continued to try to improve. And then on top of that, you know, it's always keeping the body right, whether, you know, fitness or health. You know, the mobility and flexibility of, you know, my body is really important to me. So, and then beyond that, you know, you start getting into technique and pass rush and make sure to stop the run and strike and, you know, all those things that make, you know, a great outside linebacker, which, you know, is what I want to be. So
when we look at the pass rush, you have you, Witt, Watt, you have Charles Omenihu, what he did last year, Jacob Martin, you have Duke Ejiofor coming back. Seems like you guys have a lot of people who can get after the quarterback. You have to be excited about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, there's a lot of talent on our front seven, you know, outside, inside, and I think it's going to be a really exciting season. And then you look at obviously Coach Weaver taking the helm, coordinator, and, you know, just knowing his background as a defensive lineman, as, you know, a player, and then D-line coach, and, you know, all the knowledge that he brings to that. So it'll be I think it'll definitely complement the talent that we have.
All right. Well, Brennan, we want to thank you for the time so much, and we really appreciate it and look forward to seeing you soon. I mean, I really look forward to seeing you. Yeah. It happens very soon.
That'll do it for this week's show. We really appreciate you watching, but make sure you go to HoustonTexans.com. This is a huge, huge week. The NFL Draft begins on Thursday, but we've already had you covered for the NFL Draft throughout this winter and spring. You got the Harris 100 to check out. You also have the mock draft surveys, which kind of show you and predict who the Texans might take at 40th overall. Also, go to the Houston Texans mobile app for more, and use your QR code scanner to scan and learn about all sorts of great new things. For Tyler Marcotte, who put this whole thing together, Tyler Suddarth as well, who helped him, my name's Drew Dougherty. We will see you next time on Texans 360. Until then, go Texans. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.